I used to think dogs barked at nothing, a passing car, a squirrel, the wind, but now I know better. My family and I had just relocated from a suburban area that we had once lived in. We moved to a more off-grid type of home. It was a quiet neighborhood outside of Portland. It was the kind of place where the nights were pitch black and the silence felt heavier than it should. My parents had saved up for years to get this house. Big backyard, wide porch, tall pine trees surrounding the property, and right in the middle of it all, our golden retriever Max. He was the kind of dog that made everyone feel safe, friendly, loyal, always wagging his tail until the barking started. The first time it happened, it was just after midnight. I woke up to the sound of Max growling outside of my window, not barking, growling. It was this low, rumbling sound that made my stomach twist. I peeked through the blinds and saw him standing near the fence, tail stiff, facing the woods behind our house. At first, I thought maybe a raccoon or coyote was out there, so I went to the back door and flipped on the light. "Max," I whispered. He didn't even turn around. I scanned the yard, nothing, just the trees swaying in the breeze, but Max's fur was standing on end. He was staring so hard at the tree line it was like he was seeing something I couldn't. After a few minutes, he finally backed away and came to the porch. I let him inside, and that was that. Or so I thought. It started happening more often, always between midnight and 3 a.m. Always the same, that deep growl, the barking, the way he refused to come when we called. Dad even walked out there one night with a flashlight, muttering something about raccoons, but he came back frowning. "Didn't see a thing," he said. Mom tried calling animal control. They said it was probably coyotes that roamed the neighborhood sometimes, especially near the woods. But one night, I noticed something different. When Max was barking, he wasn't looking into the woods. He was looking between the trees, like he was following something that moved. About a week later, it rained. When we woke up the next morning, Dad went out to check the fence and called us over. There were footprints in the mud, not animal prints, not dog prints, but bare human feet. Dozens of them, leading up to the back fence, then turning around and going back towards the woods. Mom called the police. They came, took a look, and said maybe it was some kids sneaking around at night. But there was something about the way that one of the officers kept glancing towards the trees that made me think he didn't really believe that. That night, Dad locked the gate, kept Max inside, but around 1 a.m., Max started barking anyway. He was facing the backyard again, and then, when I looked out, I saw it too. Something moved in the tree line, the shape. It was tall, too tall, maybe 6.5, 7 feet. It was standing upright completely. It was hunched over like it was trying to hide behind the trees. The porch light barely reached that far, but I could make out its shape. Long arms, thin shoulders, pale skin that caught the light like wet paper. I froze. Max went wild, barking, snarling, slamming against the window. Then, the thing tilted its head again slowly. And I swear it looked right at me. I screamed for my dad. By the time he ran in with a flashlight, the thing was gone. After that, Dad set up one of those motion-activated trail cameras by the fence. He didn't tell us, but I found out when I saw the little green light blinking the next day. The following morning, he was sitting at the kitchen table, pale as a ghost. The memory card was on the counter. "Dad?" I asked. He didn't answer right away. He just slid the laptop towards me. On the screen was a picture taken around 2:14 a.m. It showed Max standing at the fence, barking like usual, and behind him, something was in the woods. Its body was bent at an angle, almost crawling. Its skin looked gray, stretched thin like it barely fit its bones, and its face, its face, was blank, no eyes, no mouth, just smooth, pale skin. Dad deleted the photo immediately, said it was probably a trick of the light, but I saw his hand shaking. The next few nights were quiet, no barking, no movement, nothing. Until that Friday, it was around 3 a.m. when Max started again. Only this time, it was worse. He wasn't at the fence, he was at the porch door, barking furiously, teeth bared. I looked through the window, the motion light by the back gate was on. Something had set it off. I grabbed my phone flashlight and pointed it outside. The beam cut through the dark. and for just a second I saw it, standing inside the fence. Its hands were wrapped around the gate latch. It was staring straight at the house. I screamed. Dad came running, and by the time that he got to the door, it was gone. The gate was wide open. We brought Max inside, locked every door, every window. Mom wanted to leave, but Dad said it was probably someone messing with us. Still, he didn't sleep that night. None of us did. 2 nights later, everything stopped. No barking, no movement, nothing but silence. We thought maybe whatever it was had moved on until the following morning. Mom went outside to water the plants. She came back in shaking pale, unable to speak. Dad and I followed her out. In the middle of the yard was Max's collar. The metal clasp was snapped clean in half. The ground around it was torn up. Deep marks in the dirt like something had dragged him away. There were no tracks this time, just a faint trail leading back toward the woods. We called his name for hours. Animal control searched, so did the police. They didn't find anything. That night, when everything was quiet again, I sat by the window, staring into the trees, and then, just before dawn, I saw something move. 2 pale shapes glowing faintly between the pines. They weren't lights, they were eyes, watching. And behind them, I swear, I heard it. A faint, low growl, like Max, only deeper.